With Cyril again coming up, but right now I want to tell you about something really great. Yesterday in part one, we told you the story of Ship Harbour Long Lake Wilderness Area and the unique partnership between environmentalists and paper giant Neenah.
Now this morning in part two, we focus on another partnership with ties to Ship Harbour Long Lake. It's an ambitious vision of Canada called the Big Wild. It's an early fall wilderness adventure into one of mainland Nova Scotia's most pristine places, the proposed Ship Harbour Long Lake Wilderness Area in the eastern part of the province, close to Musquodoboit Harbour.
Canada is one of the few countries on the planet that still has big wilderness.
And it's trips like this that Chris Miller and the Canadian Parks and Wilderness Society hope will save this country's great forests. CPAWS and Mountain Equipment Co-op have started an ambitious project called the Big Wild. Canada is one of the last three countries on Earth where great forests still stand, along with Russia and Brazil. This is why CPAWS says there's still hope. Canada is the world's best chance to save the planet's wild places because 90% of our wilderness, ocean, and fresh water is still in public domain. On a downside, only 10% of it has been protected so far.
The Big Wild is our great open spaces. I think it's something that unites us as Canadians that we all can relate to. The Big Wild, that's put on by CPAWS and Mountain Equipment Co-op, is looking to see half of Canada's remaining wild spaces protected.
So that's the key goal, save 50% of what we have left. If that sounds overly ambitious, Miller says keep it in perspective. He says much of northern Ontario and the territories has already been protected, and that's where the bulk of 50% could be achieved. In smaller provinces like Nova Scotia, we should focus on more realistic goals.
Ship Harbour Long Lake here is a good example. Also, Blue Mountain Birch Cove Lakes near Halifax is also about to be protected, and the Premier has just committed resources from the Crown Share Agreement for the purchase and protection of private lands.
Nova Scotia has a long-standing commitment at the provincial level to protect 12% of its wilderness by 2015. Christine Krochak from Mountain Equipment Co-op says the initiative fits perfectly with her company's ethos and her own personal beliefs.
I want to bring my kids here. I want to have them enjoy it, and not just the next generation, but the generations to come.
To get involved, all you really need to do is plan your own wilderness adventure, then go to the website.
You can do a 24-hour or longer trip and pledge it to the Big Wild. Get out there, enjoy the wilderness, see everything we have, and what we stand to lose if we don't protect it now.
You can put photos of your wilderness camping trip. You can put stories and videos about a canoe paddle that you did, and just share those stories with people across Canada. Make sure that the wilderness that we have left remains that way for years to come.
What a great story.
Thanks. Well, again, it's called thebigwild.org if you want to check it out online. And really, you just have to, I mean, you can get involved pretty much at any level. You heard in the story, there's many different ways to do it. Or it's as simple as just getting out, enjoying the outdoors with the thinking that if you get out into some of these beautiful places that you may not have experienced before, you know, maybe then you'll be more inclined to not only care about them, but to do something about it, and to make sure that your local and national politicians know that it's important to you.
Well, and we've got such a huge country with so much land. Why not make the effort and protect some of that land now?
I don't know if you caught it in the story, but we have responsibility above just as Canadians in protecting what we have in Canada. So many of the world's forests have been destroyed that we're one of really three major significant places left on the entire planet to save these big intact forests. So
Brazil and Russia are the others, right?
Yeah, so we have responsibility not only to all Canadians, but you know, to the planet, and to everybody on it.
Great story. Again, the website is
thebigwild.org. Check it out.
Good stuff. Time for a break. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes with more BT.